let me do a sound check. I just rambled for like half an hour, only to realize that my audio wasn't on. So I was just there rambling to myself. Thank God, no one was watching me anyway. I did see one or two people pop in and out, but they probably just thought, who's this idiot? Excuse me. I've got a bit of a blocked nose, sniffles things going on, like everybody else in the UK at the moment. So bear with me. I hope that wasn't too disgusting. Right, before I start, let me just take a little sip, and then I'll check to make sure that 100% we have sound. Right, I hear sound. Wonderful. Okay, I'll just mute that. All right, I'm going to make it a little bit shorter now because I was rambling on for half an hour and I was only on number 4. So this one is going to be a lot shorter, which is probably for the better for everyone. So anyway, number one in my list of 12 ways to make money on Amazon. I'm going to start with the most popular one, which is Amazon FBA. Amazon FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. And basically, all that is as someone who's selling a bunch of products, it could be a product, it could be as many products as you want. You buy your product, you box your product up, and you send them off to Amazon. They store it in their warehouse and they deal with fulfillment, customer services, packaging, etc. All you have to do is deal with the back end, which is listing the product in the first place. The easiest way is to find something that is already being sold and you just say, yeah, I want to sell that. And doing it that way, you don't have to worry about all the listings, all the details, filling all that in yourself because it's already been done either by Amazon, by the person that actually made the product, or by somebody else. It uses the same ISIN code, uses the same code, so you don't have to go get your own ISIN from the authorities. Now, if you're going to list something that you made or something that is not on Amazon, then you have to deal with all of that. You have to fill up all the details and get the ISIN code and all the regulations, make sure that they adhere to all of that sort of stuff. If you're selling in Europe, they must adhere to European standards, etc. And once you've done that, again, you do the packaging, you print out labels, stick on them. You can get Amazon to also print out and stick labels on your product, but you have to pay. Most people choose to do that by themselves because it's a repetitive product. Also, depending on who you are, if you're selling massive volumes, then you might just get Amazon to do it. Take that as part of your profit margin and move on, right? Now, the pros and cons of FBA. FBA is wonderful because of the volume that you can move. Now, I used to sell on FBA many years ago, and when it came to Q4, which is like, the September, October, November, December period, which includes multiple shopping events, including Christmas, New Year, Boxing Day, Amazon Prime, etc., or Black Friday rather, not Amazon Prime. The volumes are just absolutely insane. And no matter what it is that you send in, as long as it's something that people are purchasing, you will sell out, right? So, the first year I did it, I underestimated Amazon. I only sent in a whole bunch because I thought, surely no one's going to buy this stuff. I sold out within the first 2 weeks of sending stuff to Amazon. So Amazon FBA, really high traffic, which is why everyone is selling on there. The advantage of Amazon FBA, like I said before, was the fact that it's all dealt with by Amazon. So they sell it, they do the fulfillment, they handle the customer services, the postage and packaging, which for me is the most difficult part, and they handle returns and stuff. The negative part of Amazon FBA is the fact that you have very little control of your stuff once it's gone. The returns are sometimes quite high, and there's nothing you can do. You have to just eat the returns. Uh, Amazon has some really strict rules that you have to adhere to. Sometimes there's a limited time period. So if your product doesn't sell, you start to pay fees. And some of those fees can start to eat into your profit margin. Another problem is sometimes Amazon decides to destroy some products if they decide they don't want to sell this on their platform anymore, and there's nothing you can do about it. The product gets destroyed, and sometimes you have to pay for it to be destroyed. If you want to remove your stuff from Amazon, you have to pay for it to be returned to you, which again might cost a little bit too much. Sometimes it's just better to eat it and let them destroy the product. Um, conspiracy theories, conspiracy theorists rather, say sometimes that Amazon doesn't actually destroy some of those things. In fact, sometimes they sell them on in pallets, or maybe they relist it themselves or whatever. I have no experience of that, so I don't know. The one Okay, so there are two reasons why I stopped selling on Amazon, right? The first reason was the fact that um, sometimes Amazon would jump on your product. So let's say you did a whole bunch of research, you spent money doing the market research, sourcing the product, testing it out, etc., and then you hit a successful product that's moving really nicely. It's happened that suddenly Amazon starts to sell the same product. And when they start to sell the same product, they can afford to undercut you because they don't have to pay all the fees that you can. And also, they have the advantage of scale. And also, they can decide to have the buy box anytime they want. Another thing is consumer confidence when something is being sold by Amazon themselves. If it says sold by Amazon, people are just more confident to buy from Amazon than to buy from an FBA merchant. So it's impossible to compete with Amazon on their own platform. So chances are, once Amazon starts to sell your product, that product is finished. Another thing is the race to the bottom thing, where, again, same thing, but from other merchants. You find an absolutely brilliant product, and people come in and cut you by 50p, and then it's just a race to the bottom, and then you're not making any money, your profit margin is gone. What's the point? And if you don't sell, you're going to get charged fees eventually. So you kind of have to join the race to the bottom, or you're going to end up with a massive loss. So one of the reasons why I stopped on selling Amazon FBA was the whole sort of product hijacking, as they say. Another one was, again, like I said before, the destruction of the product after a given period of time. I was selling some really long tail stuff as well as some fast moving stuff, right? Now the long tail stuff does sell a bit more during Q4, but not really. But when it does sell, it sells for a high value. And with those things, sometimes they extend a little bit more. And because of the size of some of them, Amazon was starting to charge for volume, and then the fees just got ridiculous. So because of the high fees, I stopped selling on FBA. Who's FBA for? Now, I think FBA is great for anyone who knows how to do proper research to find products, but it's referred to as passive income, but it's not passive income. You have to actively be looking for the next product, because every product that you find that is successful will inevitably find competition. Unless, of course, it's your own branded product. Even better if you can get some kind of copyright or trademark such that nobody can copy you. Now, if you've got such a product, then you're in FBA heaven, right? No one can copy you. Not even Amazon themselves can copy you, but you get the traffic and the volume and the eyeballs that Amazon gets. If you think about what happened in the last few years, countries collapsed, companies, everybody collapsed. They couldn't handle the traffic that was coming to their website. Websites were falling over all over the place. I couldn't get on Marks and Spencer over here. But what can I get onto? Amazon, right? Why? Because they've got the biggest logistics, massive servers all over the place. Only Google and maybe Facebook to an extent can compete with them. Even those guys probably buy services from Amazon. So Amazon are second to none when it comes to servers and ability to basically respond to high traffic. It's really hard to DDoS Amazon, right? Because they just got a colossal amount of servers, and they've got software running everything in the background. It's just second to none. So their logistics are world class, and they've got the eyeballs. So that's number one. So FBA is great for people who have their own products, who have their own branding, and who have copyright or something like that. So it makes competition really difficult. The second one I'm going to talk about is very similar. It's not FBA, it's called FBM. So it's everything I just listed on the FBA with one exception. You house your own stuff. So you don't send off the stuff to Amazon. It's called FBM because it's fulfilled by merchant, not fulfilled by Amazon. So you get the same benefits of the eyeballs, the traffic, and all of that sort of stuff, but you don't have to pay storage fees to Amazon. You have full control of your product. You don't have to worry about having to destroy your product and having to pay for them to return to you, etc. But to balance that out, you have to worry about postage and packaging. You have to worry about customer services. You have to handle returns yourself. And when the volume really hits in Q4, are you going to be able to meet that demand? Who knows? And the demand you must meet, because Amazon has really, really strict rules, strict standards that have to be adhered to. If you're doing FBM, you have to be able to package to the same standard as Amazon. So you can't use any old raggedy bags or whatever. You have to post the item to the customer using certain types of post. So whether it be first class, second class, Royal Mail, whatever, wherever you are. You have to be able to deliver on time, right? So you have to be able to meet that sort of speed that Amazon can deliver at. And also you have to be able to handle customer services and returns to high standards. So FBM is fantastic for organizations that have their own logistics already in place and they just want to harness Amazon's traffic, right, to improve sales. So if you're a company like Walmart, even though they're a competitor, Asda, John Lewis, H&M, Burton, clothing line, or whatever. You already have your own system, you have your own website, you have your own e-commerce system, your own customer services line, your own legal department, all of that sort of stuff. And you just want to harness that power of FBA, of Amazon, then FBM is for you. However, there are merchants, smaller merchants who do deal FBM because, actually what happens is a lot of people, they start doing FBA, they get upset about the fees that they have to pay Amazon. Maybe they have the products shipped back and destroyed after Q4 or whatever, and they're like, I'm going to do FBM, right? They start doing FBM and then they realize, you know what, I'm going back to FBA because, the amount of work that it takes to fulfill by yourself shouldn't be underestimated. So those are the two sort of selling content or selling products on Amazon. The second, number 3 on the list is not in that genre. It's more sort of accessible, I think, to most people because you don't have to source material. You don't have to deal with inventory, customer services, all that sort of stuff. It's a job. It's called Amazon Flex. It's called Amazon Flex because of its flexibility. It's a flexible job. What it is simply delivering Amazon parcels with your own private vehicle. So if you have a little car that is energy efficient, for instance, you might decide to do Amazon Flex. It's very simple. You sign up, you download the app, you sign up to do some checks on you, you give them your details, payment details, blah, blah, blah. Once they've approved you to work, that's it. It's almost like Uber. You get, alerts, you sign up, you go to the depot, you grab the stuff, and then you just deliver it to the addresses. Now, again, it's worth considering that your vehicle is efficient, right? If you're delivering in a city, there's lots of traffic or whatever, you don't want to spend all your money on petrol and, or whatever, diesel, and then eat into your profit margin or your salary, right? So you have to consider that. If you have like a gas guzzling engine like a BMW or Mercedes, probably not the best option for you. But if you have a nice little Corsa or Toyota car or some sort of electric car, perhaps that's probably a thing. Also, you have to consider if you're going to be delivering long distances or just in your neighborhood. If you've been on Amazon for a while, I'm sure you even noticed when this happened. Like 1 minute, it was just actual Amazon vans that came in professional outfits and whatever. And now it's just a whole bunch of guys that seems like they live in your neighborhood. People, just random people in their own private cars with the backseat stuffed full of little parcels. They're working for Amazon Flex. The benefit of that, of course, is it's very flexible. You get to pick your own time. You get to pick when you start and stop. You can quit anytime you want. You can, take holidays, whatever. It's a gig economy. It's like Uber. It's up to you. It's very good for people who maybe have a job and need a second job or something to do at the weekend or want to spend more time with their children or something like that. It's super flexible. So, but of course, the flip side of that is you are selling your time for money, and it's a job. The wages are probably not that great. Again, you need a car, you need to upkeep your car, you need to service your car. Your insurance on your car is probably going to go up as well because you have to say that you're using it for business, and now you're driving more. All sorts of things you have to consider. But if you need money immediately, you need some spare money, it's a great way to get, a job now. And in this recession, especially with all this unemployment going around, there's always space for Amazon Flex drivers. The next one, which I have tried before as well, is called Amazon KDP. By the way, I've never done Flex because my car is not that environmentally friendly and cheap. Amazon KDP, and that's Kindle Direct Publishing. Now, this one is quite interesting. A lot of people love this one because of how relatively easy it is to do. And once you have a good product out there, it's relatively passive because you make money in your sleep as people buy the same digital product over and over and over again. Unlike FBA, that you have to source each individual product, and once you've sold it, it's gone. This, you create one product and you have a possibility of multiple sales. That's why it's very popular. You can run ads against it. You can basically treat it as an affiliate product that other people can sell for you. You can pay them commissions. It's just the sky's the limit with KDP. The Kindle platform, if you're not aware, is Amazon's e-reader platform, and of course there are existing books that have been turned into ebooks by the authors, but there are also new stuff that's been written all the time. They have this Kindle Unlimited platform where people can subscribe and have unlimited access to stuff, and your KDP stuff can be listed on that. And if people read your book, you get a percentage of the resources that Amazon shares with you. A pro with KDP, of course, like I've mentioned already, is that you can create the stuff once and you can just basically eat from it forever. If it's an evergreen type book, how to lose weight, how to psychology, relationships, things like that, you could be selling for 10, 20 years. But if it's like 2023, how to do the best, if it's time stamped, then of course you have a limited time. But those tend to sell more, but for a shorter period of time. So the golden ticket with Amazon KDP is hitting a product that is long tail, green, evergreen, but also popular. And if you're an author of that kind of skill and caliber, KDP, you can make a lot of money. A lot of people on KDP, of course, are not authors at all. They're in fact just middlemen that hire out the labor to other people, perhaps that don't have access to KDP, don't know about KDP, or perhaps, I don't know, have just never thought of doing it themselves, or live in parts of the world where people are more into like just getting paid now because they need the money now, whatever. So you can hire out people to write your books for you, ghostwrite them, whatever, and then you can publish it. Publish. That's a big business that a lot of people are doing. But relatively recently, there is one thing that people were doing that was blowing up and making a lot of money. Actually, I know someone who was doing this, who made a lot of money from it, but now not as much money because so many people have wised up to it and doing it now. And that's publishing empty books. Believe it or not, people were buying books that were completely empty. Why? Well, if you think about it, a lot of people buy sketchbooks, writing books, exercise books, just stuff to write in, notebooks that are empty. But the KDP people were publishing those books with sort of interesting covers, perhaps covers of celebrities, themed covers from movies and shows, dinosaurs, unicorns to attract children, perhaps Marvel comic characters are slightly sort of edited differently, so they're not actually the real characters, but similar to avoid copyright issues. Also, man, the whole Amazon blew up with MT books, and now everyone's doing them. Flowers, motivational quotes. Now that you can't make that much money unless you're a well-known celebrity or something that's doing it. But that's another way to publish your first few books on KDP to get your feet wet. If you give that a go, who knows, you might still make some money. The next one is pretty much the coolest one now. It used to be the second coolest, but it's been elevated as the coolest because the next one that used to be the coolest has changed somewhat, and I'll explain in a minute. It's called Amazon ACX. Amazon ACX is sort of an audiobook creation platform, right? So whether you are an author who's got a book to turn into an audiobook, like a written book in text, right, that you want to basically turn into an audiobook so you can sell it on Audible and other audiobook platforms, or you are a narrator, voice actor, voice professional, whatever, that reads and records audiobooks. This is where you guys meet, right? So on the ACX system, you log in, you see a bunch of profiles of people who are narrators, voice actors, and it's sort of like a social media setup where you see all their accolades, all their awards, what they've done in the past. You can listen to a sample of their voice, and if you like what you see, you can basically hire them to do your book for you. Now, anybody could sign up. You have to basically present them with, you know, details. You record maybe a 15 minute rather. There's a 15-minute requirement so that they can evaluate your audio quality, your sound, etc. And if you're approved, then you're in the system. And the longer you are on the system, you build credibility and a network. And usually, what happens is once you sign a whole bunch of big deals, it will be easier and easier to get even bigger deals. So if you're able to record a book that's a bestseller and you're there as the narrator and you have that as an accolade, you have authors all over your case, business companies asking you to record their stuff. And if you have a great voice, if Morgan Freeman ever got on there, he'll make millions, basically. So that if you've got a good voice, actually, I've seen a lot of these gigs on Fiverr. So if you've had some time on Fiverr and you have that talent, then it's probably worth getting on this system so you can start to mix it with a big league, so to say. The next one, quickly, used to be my favorite, but it's no longer my favorite. It's called Amazon Ignite. And basically, that is a platform for educators, teachers, instructors, etc., to upload their learning aids to be bought by whoever wants to buy learning aids. And this was so cool because you get on there, you see all these amazing learning aids, usually for children in primary schools, but stuff for secondary schools too, with pretty pictures and little illustrations and flashcards and songs and overlays and printables and things like that, puzzles. And professional teachers can go in there and share the content. I guess prior to the pandemic era, this was probably targeted at homeschoolers, people who perhaps weren't in the general education system, who are schooling their children at home, or who are children who are being schooled as extra curriculum, so they're getting extra tuition. Maybe they're preparing for something else, or maybe they're learning a different language, etc. So your child is learning French, you can get up there and get French flashcards, music, puzzles, something that makes it really fun for them to learn and aid their education. Of course, this probably blew up during the pandemic. Can you imagine how well some of these teachers did during then, when everybody was locked down and people were forced to do this anyway? But unfortunately, at the end of this month, it's closing down. So that's going to be discontinued, which is a big, 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 big shame, because this was such a great platform. You can still access the portal up until March, and then it's going to be completely removed, unfortunately. I don't know why, because I think following the pandemic, I think homeschooling is even more of a thing now than it was before, as people have tried it or been forced to try it. And some people have decided, what, this isn't so bad. It gives us the freedom to move around with our children. Or perhaps, there's a lot of politics going on now where people don't agree with what's being taught in schools, So this could be a thing. The next one, all content creators on YouTube are very aware, people on Instagram, TikTok, etc. And it's called Amazon Merch. Amazon Merch is what it is. It's a platform for selling or creation of merch. So a classic example is, T-shirts, right? So if I wanted to support my channel by people having to buy my t-shirt. I can create designs, um, and put it up on the merch store. And basically what happens is you earn royalties when they sell. You can direct people there via advertising, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, TikTok videos, links, etc. And they're print on demand, so you don't have to have inventory sitting in your house. If you have a little space. Some people, they like to keep inventory, but this way also you get the Amazon eyeballs. So people can not be your fan and still shop at your shop anyway, or your merch store. This is quite similar to like Shopify, not Shopify, sorry, Teespring and all those T-shirt creating print on demand platforms. It's not limited to T-shirts. You have mugs, printables, all sort of things, and delivered to the quality of Amazon. Uh, so that's another way of making money. So if you already have a bit of a following on social media and you want to monetize some of that, perhaps you're waiting for your YouTube channel to be monetized, but you've got engaged fans and you're a very good designer. You don't even need that. You could just be a really good graphics designer and just go create 100,000 shirts, 100,000 shirt designs, and you'd be close to a full-time income on Amazon merch. The next one, which is not well known, this one is one of the ones that's not very well known. Amazon Mturk, I think that's how it's pronounced, and it's kind of a strange one. It feels a little bit experimental to me. I've never actually done it. I've just read about it, and it's basically linked with machine learning. So it's a task-based platform where people who are building machine learning workflows come across some tasks that are not yet possible to be done by machine. They can basically offload that task to the Mturk platform, and human beings would do the task. So this is kind of like a plug-in of human beings into those areas where AI and machine learning stuff, automation stuff, um, aren't quite up to task to create, uh, so that the machine flow can still function. I can't talk too much about this one because, again, like I said, I've never actually done it before, but it seems really cool, experimental, and futuristic. And Amazon is always looking at the next best thing. So that's worth checking out, mturk.com. By the way, I'm going to leave all the links to all of the websites where you can sign up for all these things I'm talking about in the description section. So hurry up there and click on the ones that you're interested in. But this one, I'm going to be looking into. I want to learn more about this. It seems like it's not well known at the moment, which is the best time for people to get into it. Okay, there's like UI creation, AWS stuff. There's like even a food management, manage and qualify workers, efficient structure, all sorts of things. It seems really new and experimental and cool. So that's one to maybe jump on before other people find out about it. The next one is Amazon Handmade. It's in the name. If you are a maker and you make things by hand, these are one-off products, tangible, beautiful things. This is quite similar to Etsy. So there's Amazon trying to mimic Etsy here, I suppose. You can sell on Amazon Handmade. And on this platform, you don't have that much competition because people, first of all, have to be able to make what you're making, right? If you're making something by hand, it's often bespoke and unique, and people can't just jump on that and start making the same stuff as you, right? So it's Etsy on Amazon. Very, very, very cool. But obviously, the obvious difference is you can't move the same volumes as you have pre-made stuff. But also, you can charge more. It's a lot of people. It's not for everyone. First of all, you have to be a maker, and second of all, you've got to be able to. You must already have social media following, perhaps Instagram or Pinterest, where you can drive traffic here. Of course, Amazon's eyeballs are good too, but I don't know. It's not for everybody. The most popular one on YouTube is next, and it's called Amazon Associates. So, or Amazon Affiliates. This is where you sign up to be an affiliate and you talk about products. You get an affiliate link, and you can talk about a product. You can sign a blog about it and have the link in your blog. So when people click on the link, it goes over to Amazon. If they make a qualifying purchase in the correct categories, you get paid a commission. The commissions are quite low. They range somewhere between 1% to something like 5% for the largest one. Amazon, at the point of making this live stream, Amazon Gaming was 20%, but I've seen that being reduced lately. I got an email that I haven't gone through. I think they've reduced it, but the highest non-gaming one right now is 5%, and that is luxury items. So if you're a reviewer of luxury items, you blog about luxury stuff, you can make a lot of money. And Amazon Associates is really good. It's very easy to start. Anybody can do it once you've signed up and you've been approved. It's up to you to run ads and do all sorts of crazy things. And if you have a lot of traffic on your YouTube channel, you can make a significant amount of money. Now, the last one that I'm going to talk about, which is similar to Amazon Associates and is blowing up right now. So if you've listened up until now, give yourself a little pat on the back. I'm about to tell you one that I'm actually doing at the moment, and I can vouch for it. It is blowing up, right? And that's called Amazon Influencer. Now, it's US only at the moment, and you can sign up. And once you're approved, usually they expect you to have some kind of social media following, perhaps up to 100, no, up to 1,000 followers on TikTok or YouTube or something like that. But you can also sign up with Instagram or other social media networks. People are getting more approved more quickly now than when I first applied for it. You can basically upload photos, ideas, videos. The videos ones are the best, and you can go live and be published into Amazon website. And if somebody watches your live session and buys one of the things you're talking about, you get a commission. If somebody watches your video of the product and they watch most of it or a certain percentage of it and then decide to buy the product, you get a commission. Now, that moves for me at the moment, from what I can see, at 10 times the speed of Amazon Associates, because people who are on Amazon are already about to buy something. There's no need to try and take them to Amazon. They're already on Amazon. So the conversion rate is 10x of the associate program. So I'm going to do a full video about that. I don't want to talk too much about it. I'm going to do a full video about that coming up on this channel. So if you're interested in that, make sure you follow me. I'm going to show you the back end, how to find stuff to review, etc., 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 etc. So thank you for listening to my live feed. I'm off now. I've got an appointment actually, so I've got to kind of run. I'll see you guys hopefully very, very soon.